press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Namaste children. Today we'll start with another new chapter, Organisms and Populations. So in this Organisms and Populations, we are going to study about components of ecosystem. So we are going to study about components of ecosystem. That includes biotic factors and abiotic factors. Biotic factors, that is organisms. We are going to study biotic factor under organisms, population and community level allotivi. And abiotic components include light, temperature, water and soil. So these we are going to study under abiotic factors. And again we are going to study response of biotic factors to abiotic factors. Response of biotic factors to, that means how the organisms responds for these abiotic factors, that we are going to study. Under this we are going to study adaptations of biotic factors to abiotic factors for the survival and reproduction purpose. So we are going to study about the adaptation in plants and also in animals for the survival purpose and also for the reproduction. So adaptations of biotic factors to abiotic factors we are going to study. And one more thing we are going to study is population. Under population, so we are going to study population attributes, then population density, then we are going to study population growth, and population interactions. So under population, we are going to study population attributes. Then in these population attributes, we are going to study birth rate, death rate, sex ratio and also age pyramids. Then population density, which all the factors responsible for increasing the population density or to decrease the population density, and population growth. There are two graphs we are going to study here, exponential and logistic growth, and population interactions. Under population interactions, again we are going to study predators, parasitism, commensalism, mutualism, competition. These are all we are going to study under population interactions. So these are all things we are going to discuss in this chapter. Coming to the definition of ecology. So ecology is a branch of biology. It is a branch of biology which deals with interrelationships with interrelationships of organisms with their physical environment. So this is the definition of ecology. It is a branch of biology which deals with the study about interrelationships of organisms with their physical environment. So organisms come under what? Biotic components, whereas physical environment includes abiotic components. Physical environment includes abiotic components like light, temperature, water and soil. So, the Ernst Haeckel, he coined the term ecology. He coined the term ecology in the year 1886. Ernst Haeckel, he coined the term ecology in the year 1886. Then Ramdeo Mishra is considered as father of Indian ecology. He is considered as father of Indian ecology. So ecology, okios means home. Okios means home and logy means study in the Greek. Okios means home, logy means study. So ecology, it is a branch of biology which deals with the study of interrelationships of organisms. Interrelationships also include both relation and inter within the same species, interactions between the same species. Inter means interaction between the different species. So it includes the study of interrelationships of organisms, that includes both intra and inter with their physical environment. Physical includes abiotic factors like light, temperature, soil and water. Ernst Haeckel coined the term ecology in the year 1886 and Ramdeo Mishra is considered as father of Indian ecology. Ecology is again divided into two types at organismic level. It is divided into two types at organisms level, that is hot ecology and synecology. So what is the difference between these two? So in the hot ecology we study single species with their physical environment. So odd means we are going to study only one type of organisms or single species. Study of single species, single species with their physical environment is called hot ecology. Here the synecology, it is also a branch of ecology where we see the study of different groups of species. Different groups of species with their physical environment. This is synecology. Suppose if we study only a mango tree, different types of mango trees. So when we study single species with their physical environment, that come under hot ecology. With the mango tree, if we study other trees present in the ecosystem, is called in ecology. In that mango tree is one of the species. Understood? So what ecology we study only a one type of species with their physical environment. In ecology we study different species, different group of species with their physical environment. This is the difference between what ecology and synecology. Then ecology includes levels of organization. So it includes levels of organization. So we have three levels of organization, that is classified into physical hierarchy, biological hierarchy and ecological hierarchy. So in this, protons, neutrons and electrons give rise to atoms. Then atom give rise to compounds. Compounds give rise to organelles. That give rise to the formation of cell. Cellular organelles. So protons, neutron, electrons, they give rise to atoms. Then that atoms join together to give compounds. That compounds helps in the formation of organelles. That give rise to cell. So these all come under physical hierarchy. These all come under physical hierarchy. So we know that cells group together to form tissues. Again tissues group together to form organs. Then organs give rise to organ system. Organ system give rise to organisms. Organ system give rise to organisms. So this all come under, from the cell to the organisms, it come under biological hierarchy. Protons, neutrons, electrons give rise to atoms. That helps in the formation of compounds. That give rise to the formation of organelles. Then we get cell. Cells group together to form tissues. We read this in animal kingdom. So tissues give rise to organs, organ systems and organisms. So these all come under biological hierarchy. Then we'll go with ecological hierarchy. So organisms give rise to population. That give rise to communities. Communities give rise to ecosystems. Ecosystem give rise to biomes. That different biomes give rise to biosphere. So these all come under ecological hierarchy. Organisms forms populations. So populations, different populations, different groups of populations forms communities, and these communities form say ecosystem. then different ecosystems forms a biomes, then that give rise to biosphere. So that all come under ecological hierarchy. So we have levels of, under levels of organization, we have three: hierarchy, physical hierarchy, then biological hierarchy and ecological hierarchy. So, at any level of biological hierarchy, we can ask types of questions like, in your book they have given, how does the birds sing and why does the birds sing? Next, one more they have given. Why night blooming flowers are strongly scented and white in color? Next, one more they have given. Why the cactus have many thorns? Why cactus have many thorns? Then, how the honeybees come to know which flower is having nectar? How bees knows which flower is having nectar? And one more, and how the chick recognizes her mother? How the chick recognizes her mother. So these are questions they have given in your book. See, how does the bird sing? In the early morning in the garden we see the songs of bulbul singing. So they are asking why the birds sing and how does the bird sings. For the first question, how does the bird sings? It is mainly due to the function of voice box and vibrating bones present in the voice box. That is the reason they are going to sing. And why does the bird sings? They sing to communicate with their mates during breeding season, or for the other communication purpose they are going to sing. So how does the bird sings? Due to the functioning of voice box and vibrating bone present in the bird, that is in the voice box. And why does the bird sings? To communicate with their mates, it is going to sing. This is the answer for this question. And why night blooming flowers are strongly scented and white in color? So if they are white in color, they can be easily attracted by the insects. Alva? So, and usually these flowers are not pollinated by the bees. They are not pollinated by the bees, but they are going to pollinated by the night flying insects. As they are pollinated by the night flying insects, that's why they are white in color and strongly scented to attract night flying insects that helps in pollination. Then why cactus have many thorns? We know that cactus is seen in the area where less water is present. So the leaves are modified into spines. They are not thorns, they are spines. So where the leaves are modified into spines like this, if this is a cactus, so leaves are modified into spines to reduce the surface area to prevent the loss of water. Understood? So in the cactus we see leaves are modified into spines. Leaves are modified into spines mainly to prevent the loss of water. So when leaves are modified into spines, it reduces the surface area so that the loss of water is going to be prevented by evaporation. Then how bees knows the which flowers is having a nectar? So we know that flowers usually have a negative charge, and bees' wings, when they fly, they have positive charges. So when the bees sit on the flower, that positive charge present on the bees helps to adhere pollen to the air present on the bees' bodies. Understood? Then that way that helps to bees are going to recognize the flower which is having nectar. Then how the chick recognizes her mother? That process is called imprinting. Imprinting means here in the imprinting the organisms uses senses like olfaction, touch. Understood? They uses senses like tactile sensation also, olfaction, vision, touch. By using all these senses, when the chick comes out when it hatches from the egg, by using the senses like vision, olfaction, touch and sound, it recognizes the first creature around it, that is her mother. By this it is going to bound to her mother. That process is called imprinting. In the imprinting, the organisms utilizes senses like vision, olfaction, touch and sounds. Once the chick hatches from an egg, by using all these senses, it is going to recognize first creature around it, that is her mother. So by this it is going to bond with her mother. So this is the answers for all these questions. Understood? So how does the bird sings? With the help of vibrating bone and voice box. Why does the bird sings? To communicate with their mates. And night blooming flowers are strongly scented and white to attract night flying insects, mainly for pollination. In the cactus, we see the leaves are modified into spines to reduce the loss of water. And bees usually recognizes the flower which is having nectar, because usually flowers will have negative charge and bees will have positive charge. So when the bees sit on the flower, the positive charge on the bees helps to adhere pollen to their body air, and that way it helps to collect pollen from that flower. And chick recognizes her mother by a process called imprinting, by using senses like olfaction, vision, touch and sound. So next we'll go with ecology. That means ecology is a branch of biology which helps in the study about organisms, interaction of organisms with their physical environment. Ecology is having 4 levels under levels of biological classification of ecology. Biological classification of ecology is having 4 levels of organization. So we know that ecology it deals with a study about interactions or interrelationships of organisms with their physical environment. interactions include both intra and inter. Intra within the interactions among the same species. Inter means interactions between the different species. So ecology is having 4 levels and the biological classification, that is organism level, then population, community and biomes. So ecology is divided into 4 levels: organisms level, populations levels, community levels and biomes. So we study in this class in detail. So organisms, it is a basic unit of ecology. What is an organism? It is a basic unit of ecology. Then what is population? It includes a group of or single species, group of an organisms or single species occupied in a particular area. Occupied in a particular area or living in a particular area at a particular time. At a particular time. This is about the definition of populations. A group of an organisms or single species living in a particular area at a particular time is nothing but population. Then community. Community means a group of different populations, a group of populations of different species. A community can be defined as a group of populations, of different species, group of populations of different species living in a particular area at a particular time. Living in particular area at a particular time. Understood? Say, organisms, it is a basic unit of ecology. Population always include single species or one type of organisms. A group of an organism or single, it is very important, single species living in a particular area at a particular time defines population. Community includes different species. It includes a group of population of different species living in a particular area at particular time. That defines community. All they will ask for 1 marks. Define population, define community, and define organism. Then biomes. So biomes can be defined as a large area with different landscapes. It can be defined as a large area with different landscapes or biomes. It is a complex, can be defined as a complex biotic community. Nodi, biotic means living, abiotic means non-living. It's a complex biotic community stretching over a large geographical area, stretching over a large geographical area, characterized by distinct life forms. Example, so biomes, it is a large area with different landscapes, or you can define it as a complex. Complex means it is having many group of species, many different species. So complex biotic community stretching over a large geographical area characterized by distinct life forms, defines as biomes. Then two more definitions we left the, so that is habitat and biological life. Habitat, a place which is occupied by an organism in an ecosystem. It is an area or place occupied by an organism in an ecosystem. So how we are going to define habitat? It is an area or place occupied by an organism in an ecosystem. Then what is biological life? This all comes for 1 mark. Biological life, it tells, biological life is a area occupied by an organism and interaction of organism with its physical environment, tells about biological life. So habitat ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, where the organism lives ಅಷ್ಟೇ. rabbit ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ rabbit lives in a grassland ecosystem ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. Okay, habitat tells where the organism lives. ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ biological life, it tells where the organism lives and how it interacts with its physical environment. So rabbit grassland ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ and it undergo hibernation and estivation alva during unfavorable conditions. So estivation means summer sleep, hibernation means winter sleep. So that helps in the biological life. Biological life tells us where the organism lives and how it interacts with its physical environment. What is the role played by an organism in an ecosystem, whether it is a predator or it is a prey, whether it is a herbivore or carnivore, all these things about the organism is going to be known in the biological night. Understood? That is going to be known in the night. In the habitat, it just tells where organism is going to live. It doesn't tell the role played by that organism in an ecosystem. The organism's importance is known in the night. That is the difference between habitat and biological night. So habitat, it is an area or place occupied by an organism in an ecosystem. Whereas biological night, it is an area occupied by an organism, and it tells interaction of organisms with its physical environment. In this chapter, we are going to study ecology at organisms and populations level. So in this chapter, we are going to study ecology at organisms and populations. Ecology at organisms and populations level. So organisms with this environment. So organisms in an ecology always considered as physiological ecology. Organisms in an ecology is considered as physical ecology because they are going to adopt to their physical environment not only for the survival purpose but also for the reproduction. Organisms are going to adopt themselves to their physical environment. For what? For the survival purpose and also for the reproduction purpose. So rotation of our earth around sun and its tilt axis, rotation of our earth around sun and its tilt axis give rise to, that leads to formation of rotation of our earth around sun and its tilt around the axis causes variation in intensity and duration. It causes variation in intensity and duration in temperature. That causes different seasons on the earth. That leads to the formation of different seasons on the earth. Rotation of our earth, our planet, that is earth around the sun and its tilt axis causes tilt, and the earth is little bit tilted. So and its tilt axis causes, what it causes? It causes variation in the intensity and duration in temperature that results in different seasons on the earth. Understood? Nodi, ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಳೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಕಡೆ ಮಳೆನೇ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. In some area we see very cold, in some area it will be very hot. These are all variations mainly due to the rotation of our earth around the sun and its tilt axis. That is responsible for the formation of different seasons. So along with these variations, annual variations in precipitation, results in formation of different biomes. See, along with these variations, annual variations in precipitations includes both snow and rain. It includes both snow and rain that give rise to the formation of different biomes. Understood? Along with these variations, annual variations in precipitation that includes snow and rain give rise to different biomes on this earth. So, this diagram shows biomes distribution with annual temperature and precipitation. So, this biomes distribution with annual temperature and precipitation. So, this diagram explains different biomes with annual temperature and precipitation. So, here mean annual temperature, this represents the mean annual temperature and this axis represents the mean annual precipitation in centimeter, that is also very important, and temperature in degree centigrade. So, the temperature between 5 to 25 we have desert biomes, and again 5 to 25 we have grassland temperature, but rainfall is between 50 to 150, and this temperate forest, in the temperate forest we have rain between 50 to 200, and this area represents coniferous forest and Arctic and alpine tundra, and this in a tropical forest, see, in a tropical we see rainfall between 150 to 400. That's why we see variety of vegetation in that forest. So, these are different biomes: desert, grassland, temperate forest, tropical forest, coniferous forest and Arctic alpine tundra. So, how we are going to calculate mean annual temperature? Mean annual desert tagondaga, see, lower unit you should take 5 and upper unit it is having 25 divided by 2, that is 30 by 2, we get 15 degrees Celsius. This is mean annual temperature. How we are going to calculate mean annual temperature? We have to take lower limit and upper limit, add those two and divided by 2, then we get mean annual temperature. Like that, even precipitation, rainfall we can take. See, in the coniferous, rainfall is lower limit is 100 and upper limit is 300 divided by 2, it is 400. So, 200 centimeter. The mean annual precipitation in coniferous forest is 200 centimeter. This is how we are going to calculate mean annual temperature and also mean annual precipitation. Understood? And variations, regional and local variations in the biomes. Regional and local variations in the biomes will give rise to different habitats. Will give rise to different habitats. Understood? Regional and local variations in the biomes will give rise to different habitats in an ecosystem. That give rise to different habitats in an ecosystem. And in India, we have 4 important biomes. In India, we have 2 marks question. Name the biomes present in India. So in India, we have 4 biomes. One is desert, deciduous, tropical rainforest, and sea coast. So we have 4 biomes in India: desert biomes, deciduous, tropical rainforest and sea coast. 2 marks barate nimge. Name the 4 biomes present in India. So you have to write desert, deciduous, tropical rainforest and sea coast. So the organisms not only seen in favorable conditions, the organisms are not only seen in favorable environment, even the organisms are seen in unfavorable conditions also. We can see the organisms present in unfavorable conditions like in permafrost polar regions and thermal springs and very stinking compost pits, and also heavily rain areas like Meghalaya forest. That means the temperature or other things are unfavorable. Then also we see the presence of organisms in that unfavorable condition also. So that archaebacteria antani first year alli odidi, that type of organisms are going to be present in unfavorable conditions. So organisms are not only seen in favorable conditions, even we can see the presence of organisms in unfavorable conditions also, where the temperature is very less in snow areas and high temperature in desert areas. So like that, the organisms are going to be present in both favorable and unfavorable conditions. And in our intestine, even our intestine is a habitat for hundreds of species. So understood. So like this, the organisms are able to adapt to their physical environment, not only for the survival purpose, but also for the reproduction purpose. So in this chapter, you get the biome distribution diagram, diagrammatic representation will carry 3 marks. But a 2 marks question name the biomes present in an Indian ecosystem. 1 marks question define organism, population, community, biomes, and at what levels the ecology is classified. At the biological classification of ecology includes 4 levels, that is organism level, population level, community level and biome levels. That is that is about today's class. The next class will discuss the abiotic factors which are present in an ecosystem. That includes temperature, water, soil and light. That we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.